The Fallout show is actually fantastic, okay? It's a really good show, but there are 3 major issues that I have with it, and unfortunately, all 3 of those big issues happen during the first episode, which is a pretty hard hitter and kind of, skewed my opinion negatively towards the show at first before I continued watching it. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you haven't seen the show and you're watching this to attempt to, make up your mind and see if you wanna watch it, then you're in the right place. I won't spoil anything, I'll just give you my broad thoughts about it, the positives and the negatives. So the biggest negative comes in the first episode, and this isn't a spoiler to anyone. It's Fallout, so these vaults, the vault door gets opened. Okay, if you didn't know that, then I don't know what you're doing. But the thing is, when they open the door, and to let these people in, they don't do any kind of radiation tests on them. And the whole thing that drives the show is that something happens because these people aren't who they say they are. And they don't do any kind of radiation tests on them. You've got these new people coming in, these people who they've been doing trades with for a long time. And somehow, because these people aren't who they're supposed to be, somehow they didn't know or recognize that they're not the same people they've been doing trades with for years over the communication voice box. I guess they didn't catch on that it was a different voice and a different person, and I guess they didn't have any like codes to ensure like that it's the right person. And they also don't do any radiation tests because then later on, one of the radiation things just goes off randomly to show that people have radiation. But I don't know why in the apocalyptic Fallout universe there isn't just a standard test to do radiation of these people coming into these vaults. I don't know why you wouldn't have radiation tests. That kind of took me out of the show immediately and gave me a bad like perception and vibe of it going forward, which was changed though, which I'll get to. So that was a pretty hard hit towards the beginning of the first episode. And then a bit later in the first episode, we head over to this military camp. It's post-apocalypse, survival of the fittest, military bros, doing the training, hard-hitting, wrestling, exercising. You got to be in physical shape. And then there's just this transgender, and the transgender's just there, and we're like, how about they have transgender surgeries in the post-apocalypse? And I guess like, okay, I guess the military base has a transgender shop, so if you want to go cut your things off and reassign and take these hormones, then I guess you can. But then they're choosing someone to promote. Someone's got 3 people are gonna get promoted. And who's one of the people that gets promoted for being physically, in shape and stuff? The transgender. And it makes no sense because it takes you out of it having a transgender in this post-apocalypse. But then it's the transgender who gets promoted to go be a squire. And it's like a squire is a very important position to them. It's a place of honor and stuff. And that's what everyone's striving to be. But those are really my only 3 big issues, and they all take place in episode 1. The first one being the stupid radiation thing, the second being the fact that there's a transgender in this military camp, and the third being that it's the transgender who's promoted. But other than those 3 things, which all take place in the first episode, the show is fantastic. Like, all the acting is phenomenal from all the mains. The world is expansive. There's so much happening in the background. All the side characters are so wonky and full of life. All the characters in this are so full of life. All this environments, the towns, the places, it all feels so fantastical and amazing. And it really just, aside from the stuff in episode 1, the rest of the show, it sucks you in and it pulls you into this fantastical world and keeps you really engaged within it. And that's what a show should do, and it succeeds on that. And it's always these mystery subplots, these dramatic subplots, there's all of these things happening, all these themes, symbolism, character arcs, actually, characters and well-written stuff. And it's all done in these really well ways, these really well-written, good quality ways. And it's phenomenal. So I was surprised. I was really surprised because I did actually like the Fallout trailer. A lot of people I know did not, but I liked it. But still, I'd heard bad things about the show after it was out. Went into it kind of not expecting much, and I was shocked because again, after the first episode, the show it's really good. It's really solid, and I have to recommend it. I have to recommend it because it's not often that we get a show that can actually pull you and keep you engaged, and that's what this show did. And there's no messaging in it outside of episode 1. Okay, outside of episode 1, there's no messaging or modern day anything that pulls you out of the show, okay? And again, I have to go back to the acting. I was a bit after the trailer, I was a bit, on edge about the main lead, but she is a really good actress. And the guy who plays the black guy, Maximus, he's really good as well. But by far the standout is the guy who plays the ghoul. He's fantastic. He is phenomenal. He has so much charisma. One little thing though, the person they picked to play his wife is kind of ugly. So it is kind of odd that someone like him with so much charisma, so much outgoing, just so much to him, chose to marry someone kind of ugly. It's kind of strange. That's kinda just I don't know, it's just a little thing, okay? Um, but the show, you've got so many different factions, so many different characters out there. You've got these crazy little side, like, pockets of civilization, and they're all different. They all have these different types of, ways of life, and these all these different cultures and weird religious beliefs, and it's phenomenal because it's not just the type of show where everything looks the same, okay? You've got these people wandering this post-apocalyptic world doing what they're doing, and every place they go is different. And every place they go has these different beliefs and different ways of life and different outlooks, and everything looks different, you know? Their clothing's different. It's all really fantastic. And so I can't recommend this show enough, okay? I haven't played the games, so I can't speak to what it is as an adaptation, but I can tell you that as a show by itself, it's really good. You're gonna watch the first episode and you're gonna be like, few things that pulled me out, like I mentioned, those 3 things, but after that, it's really solid. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It's a really good show, and you should definitely go watch it.